Welcome to Eat the Fucking Food. I'm your host, Kristin Collins, and this week it's just me. There's no guest. I thought it'd be great every once in a while if I delivered you a little snack size episode, a little bite sized episode that we focus on nutrition itself. When I started my own wellness journey and focused on eating up to my needs, the one thing that really helped me sustain that was finally learning why I needed to have protein, why I needed to have carbs, why healthy fats are so important. It changed the way I thought about things and made it easier to eat for the way I need to feel my best, to thrive and not merely survive. So I thought every now and then we're going to sprinkle these in because I want you to have this information too. This podcast, How to Eat the Fucking Food, is about helping you be the healthiest, strongest, most powerful person you can be. And for me, that starts with a foundation of healthy nutrition. To me, feeding your body so you can fuel your life is the ultimate form of self-care. Now, I have a confession to make. I thought this episode was going to be about building a healthy plate without spiraling, because sometimes building your healthy plate means you're going to need to eat more food than you've been eating in the past. That was the plan. And then I kept putting it off. I kept putting off recording this episode. I don't know why. I get really nervous. All the doubts were coming in. I was supposed to do it a couple weekends ago, and things happened that weekend that kind of put me out of the whole podcast mindset for a couple days. And then I went out of town. And then yesterday, I time blocked out my afternoon. I'm going to record this episode. This episode is slotted. It has a time frame. I know the due date. Let's get it done so we're not doing it last minute. And what did I do? Sure as shit, I put it off again. I did everything else in the whole world. I did laundry. I cleaned my kitchen. I did things I don't like. I pitched strangers over the internet to be guests on this podcast. Now, strangers who I think have a very strong voice, so it's not as bad as it sounds, but that's terrifying to me. And I did that instead of recording this podcast. And then it hit me. It hit me after I complained to my husband, oh my God, I wasted a whole afternoon when I know I should be doing something. Why can't I go? That the topic of this podcast needs to be, how do you start when you want to make changes to your nutrition? And even, how do you start if you just want to get healthier overall? Obviously, the universe was trying to tell me something. One, you just have to start. I don't want you to wait. These episodes come out on Tuesday. I don't want you to say, I'm going to wait till Monday. I don't want you to say, I'm going to wait till next month. I don't want you to say, I am going to wait till after vacation or after this party I have or a wedding or whatever it is. Don't wait to start. Start right now. Yes, right now. Now, if you're listening to this when you're falling asleep, you can start in the morning. But if you're listening any other time, I want you to start right now. You know it's right. You could feel it in your gut. You need to make a change. You want to feel better. You want to be healthier. Let's go. Let's take advantage of it today, because the sooner you start, the sooner all the good things happen. All right, that's the first step. Do not wait. Step number 2. I want you to get honest. Since this is a nutrition podcast for the most part, let's talk about what we are eating. I want you to really be honest and assess, what do you eat in the morning? What schedule are you on? What kind of foods are you choosing? How often are you eating? How do you feel? Check in with yourself. Maybe you take a couple days to get honest with yourself. How do you feel in the afternoon? Are you crashing a lot? What can that be a sign of? Most people, it's a sign you're not getting enough carbs, you're not getting enough energy earlier in the day. Are you having trouble sleeping at night? Is it really hard to make dinner because of all the things going on in your life? Get honest with all the challenges and your truths, the things you are doing, because we have to have somewhere to start with. And here's the thing that might sound a little different, because I know when you sign up for a lot of programs, you get a bullet list of things you have to do. You have to eat at this time. You have to eat these foods. You have to drink this much water. Have to. If you're doing this on your own and you've already committed to yourself, I'm starting today, I'm not waiting. That is a huge win. That is a huge mindset goal you just jump through. So great. You already have a win. What's the one thing, not all the things, the one thing you can change today that will make you a little bit healthier? So think about it. What could it be? Just one thing. Let's stick with nutrition. It could be about going to bed an hour earlier. It could be taking a walk. But since the podcast is Eat the Fucking Food, let's talk about food. What's one thing you can change to make yourself a little bit healthier? Here are some examples. Are you eating any fruits or vegetables? That's where a lot of us fall down. That is where I struggle 100%. So if you're not eating any fruits or vegetables right now, let's add one fruit or one vegetable to one meal. Literally, that's it. One fruit or one vegetable to one meal. Maybe it's berries with your breakfast. Maybe it's a side salad at lunch. Maybe it's broccoli or carrots or whatever vegetable you like at dinner. And if this is new to you, adding a fruit or vegetable because you've been eating none, do that until it becomes so normal. It might take you a week before it becomes commonplace. It might take you 2 weeks. When you're done with that, add something else. Add a vegetable to a second meal. Do you see where I'm going? We take short little steps in order for you to start and to be sustainable. It does not have to be all or nothing when it comes to your health and nutrition, but you can always do a little something. Another example might be protein. Maybe you're not getting that much protein. We've all heard the guidelines, and there is truly no one size fits all, but a lot of women have become in a little bit lower than they should be. So if you're not having protein at breakfast, so maybe your breakfast has been a coffee and a bagel or coffee and toast, add an egg, add 2 eggs, add some egg whites, add some chicken sausage on the side. That's a way of making yourself a little bit more nutritionally healthy as the day goes on. It doesn't have to be big changes. Once that becomes normal, once that becomes commonplace for you, then move on to your next meal. You got breakfast nailed. Let's move on to lunch. Let's move on to dinner. Do you see where I'm going? One change at a time until it becomes a habit, until it is so commonplace for you that it doesn't feel like you're eating healthy anymore. You're just eating. That's the gift we want to give ourselves. So don't wait to start. Go now. Do something now. Get honest with yourself. Where could you use a little help? And it could even, like I said, it could be the lowest barrier to entry that you can think of. It can be adding a glass of water when you first wake up in the morning. Let's stop judging what healthy means. Let's just start practicing healthy behaviors so we are still here in 20 or 30 years. So you're not waiting to start. You're getting honest with yourself. Here's my third tip. We've kind of already touched on it. A lot of people, when they get healthy, they start cutting stuff out right away. They cut out I'm going to call it fun food. You might call it junk food. They cut out all of that. They cut out things that bring them joy. I know someone who's cut out their favorite chocolate because they thought, oh, that is not a quote unquote healthy food, but it brings you joy. Here's what I want you to do instead. I want you to add something before you start cutting something out. Like we said, add a vegetable, add a fruit, add more protein, add more water. Pick something to add because in your brain, in a way, it kind of tricks it that you are doing more instead of having to restrict. It just feels better. It's something to cross off your to-do list in the best way every day, and it causes a positive momentum shift. So like I said, after a while, you're drinking that glass of water first thing in the morning, you've added a little bit more protein, you're on your way. So we're adding something, we're getting honest about things, and we're not waiting. One of my taglines, and I have it in my water bottle here somewhere, is healthy doesn't have to be hard. And yet Starting can be really hard. It can feel really hard. So once you do start, I encourage you to make it as easy as possible for yourself to be successful. Because here's the thing. We don't want to be healthy for 2 weeks. We don't want to make healthy choices for just 28 days or 30 days. We don't want to be healthy for 6 weeks. We want to start switching our brain into the mindset that this is what we're doing for the rest of our life, that this is now an everyday occurrence. It is not a special, quote unquote, diet. This is our life. And I promise you, when you flip that switch in your brain, and make it about healthy living for the rest of your life, it gets easier because there's not this stress of perfection. It's what you do consistently over the longest amount of time that is going to get you the results, not what you do perfectly in the shortest amount of time. And finally, my last tip on how to get started is that you're not going to stop. Okay, hear me out. If that sends panic through you, this does not mean you have to do, like I said, all the things every day. There's going to be times you press pause. You might need a rest day. Things may go off the rails. You might be getting takeout more than you want. But when you are doing the little things, you don't have to stop. You don't want to make it overwhelming in the beginning. And that's the mistake so many of us make. We do too much too fast. We say, I am going to eat perfectly 3 meals a day. I'm going to cook all my own foods. I am going to hit these intense amount of macros. And it all falls apart because it is so overwhelming that we cannot sustain it. But when you start slow and steady and you go one step in front of another, it makes it easier to not stop. Taking a pause is different. Taking a break, taking a weekend off every now and then is not a big deal. So just remind yourself, I'm not going to stop. I'm going to start today. I'm going to be honest about where I can make a change that is easy for me, that can be sustainable, and that I can build on. We are going to think about adding good stuff to our plate rather than taking off things that we judge to be bad. And we're not going to stop. We're going to keep going. Remember, this is about our next 30 or 40 years. I know I said 20 to 30 before, but come on, let's think big. Let's go. And here's the thing. We all need help sometimes. We all need a little guidance. We need accountability. I have a coach. I know all the stuff, yet I have a coach because I know I will do what needs to get done if someone's checking in on me. She also sometimes gets me out of my own head when I feel I need to stop or when I'm judging I'm not doing enough. She can see the forest through the trees. And that is what I do for my clients. In Game on Nutrition, I teach women all this stuff. And so much of it is how to look at nutrition in a new way, in a way that's not judgmental, in a way that allows you to step into your power and feel your best. Food becomes your friend instead of something that you are fighting with. It is delicious. It is nourishing. It's all the good things it's supposed to be. Okay, so if you feel like maybe I need some help doing this, I want to let you know that my next 12-week nutrition cohort will start on April 6th. You can go to my website, Kristin Collins Health Coaching, and you can sign up there. You can shoot me a DM or drop a comment on the YouTube channel, and I can send you a link. Game on Nutrition is really good for these types of people. I'm going to be honest. It's not for everyone. And that's fine. It is for the midlife woman who finally wants to flip the switch in how she thinks about food. That's the first group it's good for. If you have always looked at food in terms of diet and scarcity and losing weight, Game on Nutrition is for you. You're going to learn everything I know. It's geared toward sustainability. You learn your maintenance calories. You learn how much you can empower yourself by eating up to your needs. And we do it slowly. I hold your hand. It is a safe and warm and supportive environment. That's the first group Game On Nutrition is for. The second group is for the woman who has dabbled in tracking. You've done it, but you don't know why you did it. You know what macros are. You have a food scale, but you've been willy-nilly assigned targets off a generic calculator, and they seem like too much food or too little food, and your results don't last because you don't know why you're doing the thing. Game On Nutrition solves that for you. My goal as a coach is for you to never need me after a certain point, unless you want to come back for the accountability, but that you will have the knowledge on how to feed your body, whether you're just trying to maintain and be the healthiest person you want to be, whether you have body recomposition goals, whether you're looking to building muscle and want to support it with your food that you are eating, whether you have fat loss goals and want to do it in the safest, healthiest, most protected way possible. This is who Game On Nutrition was designed for. These are the types of women I like to work with. Now, maybe you're like, I don't fit into either of those categories. Reach out to me. Let's chat. If I can't help you, I know a lot of coaches who are excellent at many different things. I will find you the right fit. This is about getting you as healthy as possible. So use me as a resource, use this podcast as a resource, and that's it for me. That's it for this little solo episode of Eat the Fucking Food. I want to thank you and to just tell you how grateful I am that you're listening, that you're going on this ride with me, and I will see you next week. Have a good one.